Before we start this video, thank you to the members of both of the channels. Hello everyone and welcome back to another one. Today I'm going to be going over 8 bullet points of leaks for the brand new Thomas reboot. Now these two images here from Thomas's Brave Adventure, the book, portraying Thomas as a magical toy. Thomas and his friends on Sodor is a magical world, ties into these leaks. So here we go, 8 bullet points, guys. I will count them out loud when I get to them, but they will get juicier and better as they go, so listen very closely. The very first one is characters are going to be in the reboot that we have yet to see or know of and do not have merchandise. So characters of that would be ones such as Skarloey, Peter Sam, Sir Handel, Paxton, Sydney, Dart, Norman, Connor and Caitlin, Spencer, Murdoch, any of those characters that we have not seen and don't have merchandise, they're going to be in the reboot. We don't know which ones, but there's plenty of characters that are going to be in the show that do not have toys, which seems pretty typical for Mattel, sadly. Donald and Douglas are a big one that come to mind. Boko, Ben, we'll just have to wait and see. So just know that many more characters will be in the reboot compared to the merchandise. Just know that. So next one, number 2. There will be no Steamies versus Diesel conflict in the new show. Instead, they will be friendly with one another. So, no Steamies versus Diesel conflict. It's going to be like All Engines Go, where everyone's kind of friendly and laughing and giggling like the CGI series. I wouldn't even say there was a Diesel conflict in the CGI series either. I wouldn't say that at all. Just because Devious Diesel, or who used to be Devious Diesel, cause some trouble every once in a while, I wouldn't call that a conflict. I don't think there's been a Steamies versus Diesel conflict for a very long time. So it's not surprising that it's not coming back here and that all the engines are going to be friendly with one another, because a lot of that friendly garbage was in the CGI series. So that's nothing new, to be honest with you. But yeah, no Steamies versus Diesel conflict in this reboot. Number 3. As many people have predicted, the Troublesome Trucks are going to be the main villains of the series, which is a main reason why Scruffy was brought back in metal and in motorized merchandise. So yeah, Scruffy is going to be the head honcho of the Troublesome Trucks, the new villains of the Thomas and Friends series. No longer is it the Diesels. I wouldn't even really call the Diesels the villains. I mean, they have been villains in specials, but overall, it's just kind of been Sodor, everyday events, what's happening next. Diesels cause trouble, but there's also plenty of good Diesels. But Troublesome Trucks were always causing trouble, so they are back in the spotlight in this reboot as the main villains, the Troublesome Trucks and Scruffy. Hopefully we get more named Troublesome Trucks, and then we get plenty of more merchandise and metal and motorized. Maybe they'll take some inspiration from the Railway series and give us Fred or Rickety, but I doubt that. Or that could be one of the characters that we have not seen yet. That could be Fred or even Rickety brought in. That'd be good. That'd be really cool, especially for every era of Thomas was used to create this reboot. So I mean, already all of these sound very, very believable and very, very likely, and none of them seem too extreme at all whatsoever. And just wait, because they get even crazier, and they are believable too, even though they're crazy. So very Railway series inspired. Mattel said this. It's in the merchandise descriptions. I think it's happening. Next one. And we also saw it in the Thomas test footage, because Thomas's number 1 is much bigger, just like the Railway series. So there's also just proof in the test footage already. Engines, number 5. Engines indeed will have drivers and firemen in the show once again. Drivers and firemen showing up in the show once again. Now, this was kind of confirmed in the Exploring in the Sheds metal set, because we saw drivers and firemen and just workmen in the back of Tid in the Sheds with like paintbrushes and wrenches and tools. So seeing the drivers and firemen again is going to be great. I think we were all conditioned in the worst way possible from All Engines Go, so we were just expecting the absolute worst. But drivers and firemen are kind of bare minimum for a train show, especially Thomas, because drivers and firemen and figures were so heavily intertwined with the world of Sodor and Thomas for the first few decades of the show's existence. So drivers and firemen, kind of a bare minimum. I'm not really going to congratulate Mattel for giving us the bare minimum here. Drivers and firemen in a moving train. It's not that complicated. Just put them in the cab. It's not that difficult. The only problem is they probably will be useless again, like they were in the CGI series. The drivers and firemen in the CGI series were so incredibly brain dead, useless, and non existent. They just stood there, jumped out of the cab when they needed to, and did nothing. So, not really too excited about that, but next, bullet point number 6. This one kind of shocked me. In between every episode, there will be live action segments, just like the ones on DVDs with Mr. Perkins and Shining Time Station. So now, I also said in the beginning of the video that Thomas is a magical toy world now. And so my prediction is that in between the segments of the episodes, there will be someone kind of like a Mr. Perkins in some sort of building, a signal box, a station building, with a toy train layout of Thomas and his friends. And he will be using the toys to tell the story and explain to the audience, like, the moral of the story. Then he'll pick up the toys, and then boom, it'll cut to the episode, and then we get the episode. So I think that's what will happen. Toys will be a big part. Thomas and his friends being toys, the world of Sodor being a toy world. I think that'll be a big part of the reboot. But yeah, live action segments like Mr. Perkins and Shining Time Station are coming back. Now, number 7. This one is intertwined with number 8. So it's a two-parter. This one is great. The Vicarstown Bridge has been replaced with the Vicarstown Tunnel, and Vicarstown Tunnel will be an underground tunnel to the mainland and will go to beyond. So the Vicarstown Bridge is gone. Thankfully, that bridge was ugly and was basically just made for merchandise for all the CGI slop eaters and the motorized garbage and the Great Race, forced Great Race toy sets and all that garbage. Cheap bridge jump garbage. It was awful. That bridge was ugly. The suspension bridge in season 2, season 6, Tapmar Viaduct have always been better looking than this garbage Vicarstown Bridge. So I'm glad that's gone, but Vicarstown Tunnel is now replacing it, and it is an underground tunnel that goes to the mainland and beyond. So now the two-parter with this, number 8, is that much like the Reverend W. Audrey once said for the Railway series, these engines do not have faces when they're on the mainland and beyond. Thomas and his friends will only have faces when mainland and beyond. The word mainland and beyond has been used multiple times when it comes to this brand new Thomas reboot. So this leak might sound crazy, but when you just consider the fact that the Spotify already kind of leaked it, it's not crazy. It makes perfect sense. Thomas and his friends, Sodor is a magical world. Magic Railroad might as well be... Magic Railroad is already canon, but it might as well be fully canon at this point in everyone's mind, because Sodor is going to be a magical world separate from the real world. Thomas and his friends only have faces on Sodor. When they go through Vicarstown Tunnel, they lose their faces, the magic stops, and they're normal engines again. So that is, I don't know how Mattel's going to handle that, what they're even going to do with that. How do you even tell a story with Thomas and his friends when they don't have faces and they're not on Sodor? Are kids going to want to watch that? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Mattel could either flop this reboot, or it could be the best thing since the brand's creation. But guys, those are the 8 bullet point Thomas and Friends reboot leaks. Like I said, it ties in to the Spotify leak. It ties into the Railway series description leaks. It ties in to the Thomas's Brave Adventure book, where Thomas is a magical toy glowing. Sodor is a separate world. It's not the real world. It's not a real place. It's a separate magical toy world. All of this makes sense. It's not that far-fetched. We'll see how they do the live action segments. I bet you Mark Morgan is going to be the person in between the live action segments. This guy's been active with Mattel for many years, even post CGI series. So watch Mark Morgan be in charge of those live action segments. But guys, let me know your thoughts on these leaks for the reboot down below. Which is your favorite? Is the reboot cooked? Are you excited? Because I'm telling you what, I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be great. I kind of like the idea of them. We'll see. It'll either be the best thing ever or the worst thing ever. Depends on how they execute it. Let me know your thoughts down below. See you in the next one.
Available now, only from Tomy.